All right, welcome everybody. Yes. Today, we're going to break out our Jay Powell Federal Reserve secret decoder ring, and I'm going to make sense out of everything that happened yesterday and try to make sense of what's going on today. Okay. Very, very weak retail sales and manufacturing numbers came out today. We've discussed here on the show the tug of war that's taking place between the I want lower rates camp and the fear of a recession, economy slowing down camp. Now, well, we'll take this one by one. Okay, higher rates, 50 basis points. No surprise. Everyone expected that we were going to get 50 basis points. People were saying, well, he was kind of hawkish when he was talking about the fact that, hey, they might have to keep rates higher for longer, and we're not there yet. Encouraged by some of the economic data. Okay, all well and good. Next meeting is in February, and it's going to be 50 basis points. Is it going to be 25 basis points? I don't think that they have a clue. They don't have a clue. What you're getting right now is a lot of jawboning from the Fed. Quite frankly, again, the most telling thing that I saw from his statement, and it was kind of off the cuff, and he caught himself, and not a single pundit, I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm wrong. I try to follow this as best I can. I haven't seen a single pundit or commentator out there comment on the fact that Jay Powell, and I'm paraphrasing, said in his statement, he was talking about the last time he spoke, and this was a discussion when it comes to the labor market. He wanted to talk about Washington, and now he can't fix the labor market. He can't deal with immigration, but he said he didn't want to do that. That's Jay Powell. To me, that was one of the best statements the guy's ever made, admitting that he has limited tools. They always talk about, the Fed's got these tools in his toolbox. Whatever. Okay, they're a credit card. Okay, they don't swipe the credit card. They are the credit card. And when Washington, D.C. shows zero fiscal restraint, zero. 7,500 pork barrel projects, 500 billion, $500 billion in COVID money still flying around out there that's going to be spent. Nor the immigration issue. Can't get people back to work. We're paying people still not to work. Labor market's tight. Fed he admitted he can't do a freaking thing about the labor market. So if you want inflation to come down, again, Fed hammer. When you are a hammer, the whole world is a freaking nail. Must raise rates. Boom, boom, boom. I keep thinking about Naked Gun, Reggie Jackson there. Must kill the queen. Must destroy the economy. Must have a recession. They're not saying that, and they don't want to do it. But again, they really, can't rely on Washington to do much. Again, he alluded to some of the inflation numbers. We talked about them. They're coming down, and that's all well and good. But it's a little frustrating to watch. Again, I always talk about potential and wasted talent. And as a coach, that's my job as a coach is to basically size up every single kid and get that kid to play up to, try to exceed their ability. To go out there, kids are different athletic ability, whatever it may be. But to make them to be the best that they can be. And we're not the best that we can be right now as a country. We can't get out of our own way. We can't. And it's unfortunate. So again, what do I expect out of the Fed moving forward? Listen, I don't think that they're going to raise rates much more. We had numbers today. UK central bank, European central bank raise rates. The Swiss central bank, they're still below what our bank is doing right now. That's all well and good. Markets not liking the number, the markets, the reaction for the markets today. The markets, last time I checked, doing this program later on in the afternoon than I normally do. It was down some over 900 points. And that's the tug of war part where people are worried about a recession and a slowing economy. And market reacts in a very violent manner with numbers like this. What I'm trying to tell everybody out here is, and I've been saying this for a while, expect the volatility to continue. If the next, CPI print is way down, you're going to have a violent move to the other side. So how do you play this when you don't know what these numbers are going to be? Very simply, you own quality companies and you ride it out. You own quality companies, you dollar cost average into the stuff that you own. You pay yourself every single month. You build up a great foundation and a base. You don't try to time what's going to happen next or guess what's going to happen next. And guess what? You become wealthy over time. That's how it works, people. I'm sorry. You want me to give you some sort of prediction what the market's going to do, where the S&P is going to bottom out over the next month or two? I don't know. I don't have a clue. Nor does anybody else. They don't. They're just guessing. So again, I'm not going to waste your time with that. And quite frankly, nor should you. You're trying to find some sort of wizard, a smart analyst out there or pundit. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Sorry, our way is the right way. All right. Now, quickly too. Have any questions? Feel free, people. You can send me an email. Reach out when it comes to these things. I'll get back to you. I will. We've been hammered. There's no doubt about that. Tons of emails and phone calls, people signing up for a personal CFO program, needing help with their finances. And yes, we have to get to them first. And again, we're limited, okay? We're limited in the amount of staff that we have, and that's okay. We're going to keep it that way. I like, the company that we have and how we're doing things. But again, I have to obviously reach out to those people first that are obviously in need of, if I need financial help right away, or might be getting, sold some sort of Bitcoin that I got to talk them down off of. But I will get to your emails. I will eventually. So again, if you have any questions in regards to what we're discussing here on the program, feel free to reach out. Get to our website at WatchDog on wallstreet.com and you can do that. Interview today. Watch an interview today, CNBC. You had Andrew Ross Sorkin, Becky Quick, and I've made perfectly clear. I love mornings with Maria, and I also love Squawk Box in the morning. I do. I think they do a great job. Interviewing this Zhao fella there. What's his last name again? Hold on, it slips me. So what's it? Oh yeah, Zhao Chengpeng. Yes, Zhao Chengpeng. He's Binance's chief executive, and let's just say it didn't wasn't confident after listening to it. That's for sure. We mentioned here on the program, and both Andrew and Becky tried to push him on the fact that your audit wasn't an audit. You haven't shown any money. You haven't even showed us what the parameters were of this so-called audit. And he refused to answer the question. And it's been discovered that, I guess, over $2 billion was sent over to Binance from FTX. And the question is like, if, again, the bankruptcy court and attorneys say you got to claw back that money, do they have it? He didn't say. He said, I'll let my lawyers handle that. Yeah. Again, it's another farewell and adieu moment. Get out. Get out if you can. Listen, I know people are a member of a cult. It is. These crypto people are, it's like a cult. They are true believers. They believe in this nonsense. It's not real money, people. It's made up out of thin air. Somebody decides to declare and decree a currency. And I know they're, oh, I want the Federal Reserve and government's the fiat currencies out there. Money is just a means to exchange, to make business run more smoothly. And we used to barter and things like that. You're not going to go buy gas. So you're going to want to go to your gas station and barter. And you can put some chickens in your backyard and get some eggs and pay for your gas with the eggs. You think that's a good idea? It's not a frickin' currency, man. It's not. And you can just prove it to yourself. If you don't believe me, go to your go try to buy a car. No, better yet, go try to buy a house. Go buy it with crypto. Go see. Go to your local say I like to pay in crypto, and see what they tell you. See what they tell you. I mean, listen, if you wanted to do euros or Swiss francs or whatever it may be, they'd figure out a way. Okay. But no, they're not going to do it. People, well, eventually it's going to get it done. Okay. If you say so. All right. You're a true believer. I warned you about FTX. I warned you about all these freaking things. And you some listened, most didn't. Again, they're cultists out there. Over the years with this thing, people, they send me messages and they think that I'm somehow responsible for their positions in these currencies for going down. That I'm the one that's causing it to happen. Are you crazy? Listen, I understand you get some of the celebrities out there that are able to pump up these brand new currencies where there's no float and, it's a simple pump and dump scheme. You think I'm driving these things down? You think I have that power? Funny. Anyway. Yeah, it's the becoming the Jason Voorhees of this current Congress. And I've gone off on this plenty of occasions. And that's the child tax credit. Democrats want to extend it. And they are holding hostage various different tax breaks to businesses that want to spend on research and development. And of course, you can, Washington, D.C., you get parents with their kids, using their kids as props, holding up signs. No tax cuts for corporations until you give it to families first. This is not a frickin' tax cut. It's a flippin' handout, and you know it. You can pay $0 in taxes, and you're getting your money. It's a check that's being sent to you. We've turned the frickin' IRS, turned the IRS into an entitlement agency with this. You haven't paid any taxes, yet you're going to take $3,000 per kid and $3,600 if they're under 6 years old from now until eternity. For all these people, again, I hope there's somebody listening right now that will respond to me, because I've been asking this question for a while. How is it my responsibility? Why is it my responsibility? Why is it my fellow taxpayers' responsibility to pay for your kid, to raise your kid? I pay property taxes, go to schools. My kids go to schools. But now it's my responsibility that I should send you money because you're having kids. Might want to consider the fact that, guess what, kids are pretty damn expensive, and you want to live within your means so you can handle it. Granted, I'm not Scrooge. I'm all for safety nets to help people out, but this is a handout. Okay, this is not helping somebody get back on their feet. You're paying for this kid from the time they're born all the way to they're 18. Again, why should I have to do that? Anyway, fascinating story. I go off on this all the time. You get all these big government types. The big government types that love big government. They love command and control. They think it can be run by some sort of central authority, and it never can. Doesn't work. That didn't work in the Soviet Union. hasn't worked here in the United States. I mean, look no further. Look no further than the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act with Obama. Just take a look at the amount of waste. And remember, he was going to have Van Jones as his green job czar, and they were going to change the entire economy because they were smarter. How'd that work out? How'd that work out? You remember, had his little logo. I remember, seeing stacks of road signs paid for by the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act with his little American Recovery and Reinvestment Act logo. But all the money it's all that BS solar panel companies that have gone under, battery companies that have gone under. You think that Barack Obama and his people in Washington, D.C. understand how business is done and works? You think they can do this? Do you think the folks in China can do it? Because again, they've been used and propped up as a model by the people left. Well, they have got an industrial policy as a nation, and it makes sense, and they're going to rule the world. Right. Yeah, it's funny. That's the same crap that they said about the Japanese back in the 1980s. Remember, the Japanese were going to rule the world back then. In fact, at one point in time, I think the real estate in Tokyo was worth more than the entire planet. That was the most valuable real estate on the planet. But what did they do? What did the Japanese government do? They subsidized companies. They gave money to companies, and they gave money to companies that sucked. But their families were well connected. Families were well connected, so they had to get the money. They weren't the only ones. Remember the Asian financial crisis? We discussed that term back in the 1990s, chaebol. These families that are connected. We get the same crap here. I get it. But, it's the future, is it? Well, anyway, National Bureau of Economic Research did a study about industrial policy and subsidies. Since 2007, all companies listed on any Chinese stock exchange have had to provide an accounting of subsidies. The authors looked at the subsidies and how they compared with the calculation of a company's productivity over time. The idea was to see if Beijing is giving to firms that are already more productive, as well as if subsidies encourage those firms to become more productive. The answer, no and no. The authors looked at subsidies, including those for research and development, industrial equipment upgrades. Direct subsidies to Chinese companies grew to $29 billion from $4 billion in 2007, but there was no plan to invest systematically in dynamic firms to supercharge their success. Instead, researchers found that Chinese subsidies may be vulnerable to special interest politics and went to favored groups or to stabilize employment or industries in decline. Sound familiar? At the aggregate level, subsidies seem to be allocated to less productive firms. Sound familiar? And the relative productivity of firms receiving these subsidies appears to decline further after disbursement. Sound familiar? We can make fun of China all we want here on the program. We're a much more dynamic and powerful economy, without a doubt. So we're able to withstand a lot of our stupidity, but it's starting to add up. Yeah, we're $31 trillion in debt, and obviously subsidies are not the only reason for that, but it's a part of it. This is just a classic example of misallocation of resources, which we constantly do as a nation. The government shouldn't be involved in any of this. You get the government involved, and it's like I've explained this before, it's like messing with Mother Nature. You don't do that. Okay, it's Jurassic Park. Okay, don't do that. Don't make the dinosaurs come back. Don't combine dinosaurs. We've seen the movie. This is what you're doing with the free market. Stay out of it. I was actually saw a meme, and it was what was the character's name from Indiana Jones? He was not Sala. It was one of the guys that came along with Indy. I'm sorry, it's slipping my mind, but there was a picture of him from the movie, and the quote that was there in the meme, it says, you're messing with powers that you cannot begin to comprehend or understand. And I guess it was talking about that scene in Raiders and Ark of the Covenant. And basically it was, I think it was the Ayn Rand Society, that put the meme out. It was explaining basically this is what you think This is what libertarians, this is what free market people think when they see the government tinkering around with the free market. Anyway, I got to cut it a little bit short today, people. Busy day. I'm already 5 radio shows, 2 television shows in, and I've got a plethora more to do today. Busy day for the Watchdog on Wall Street. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Website, watchdogonwallstreet.com. We'll see you tomorrow.